Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and hopefully you guys are doing well. Today is Friday, which means I'm here to give you guys my review on the SaberForge Dark Rey Lightsaber. But before we get into this, just a quick reminder, since we have a brand new episode of The Mandalorian now available on the Disney Plus platform, is to tread carefully in the comment section, whether you're watching this during the live premiere or looking in the comment section after this video is uploaded, after the premiere is over, of course, is because you never know who might be talking about the latest episode of the show, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys don't risk potentially getting any form of spoilers. My recommendation is go watch the newest episode first and then come back. That would be the safest bet. But again, just as a word of warning and a friendly reminder as always. But yeah, here we have the SaberForge Dark Rey, and there's definitely a lot of things that I wanted to talk about with this thing, and I'm hoping that my review is a good enough review for this, because I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to say and talk about. I'm worried that this review might drag on for too long and I might lose out on some of you guys, and I just wanted to be upfront with you about this. So I want to try to do my best, so let's go ahead and just get straight into it. First things first is that this saber was actually loaned out to me courtesy of my friend Xander. He's the one that actually bought this, and the time that he took to get it from his time of ordering was about 3.5 to 4 months. This is equipped, fully installed with their new hero tier that they now offer on SaberForge, and also includes the Neopixel setup as well. So this is decked out with the top of the line things that you can get from SaberForge, just so you guys know. As far as the empty hilt goes, I believe it goes for around $600, while the fully installed one with the Neopixel is like, I believe, over $1,300. So definitely a lot of money for sure, but I've seen other sabers cost more than that on the market, that's for sure. And let me go ahead and give you guys a bit of a close-up here. Now, what's really nice too is that SaberForge actually underwent a nice change towards the middle of 2020. And their hero tiers that they offered before was a lot different than what you can get now. What you can get now when you get the hero tier, I believe it's just the hero tier, by the way, is that it actually comes with the Golden Harvest V3 board. What's nice about this board here is that not only do you have the support for Neopixel, I'm not sure if the other board supports it or not, but again, there's an option for Neopixel, but it also supports smooth swing functionality, which is great. The other cool thing too is that if you're someone that has, let's say, a lightsaber with a Cfx board and you have a lot of Cfx fonts, well, you can use those Cfx fonts on here, and it's quite simple to the point where you just take the config file and the sound folder and basically copy that into the folder that you want to add, and it's just very simple. Maybe I might do a future video on trying to customize it or something like that to teach you guys, which I do want to inform you guys that as far as the saber goes, I only change one font, which is font number 1, to go with, well, Dark Rey or Empress Palpatine. Everything else on here, from the effects and the other fonts, is exactly what came with this. I didn't mess with anything else. I try to tweak some of the settings around for the effects to kind of simplify it, but I'm still learning that process, and I haven't fully grasped the hang of this lightsaber just yet for this particular board. Again, the Golden Harvest V3. But first things first is that one thing that you want to do is to use a bit of caution when using this lightsaber, especially when it comes to this folding mechanism, and that you do have that potential chance of possibly crushing your fingers. Here's what I mean. So the way this mechanism works is that with a little bit of force, boom, it opens up and it latches in like so right here in the center, so you can go ahead and swing this lightsaber around. However, let's say that you did this, but it didn't latch in all the way, or whatever the case may be, and then, or maybe you're swinging the lightsaber and you grab it in the wrong section and this becomes unhinged. What's going to happen is that if you're swinging this lightsaber and this thing comes swinging over and your fingers are in the way, your fingers are easily going to get crushed from this hilt. So again, you want to use a bit of caution that when this is folded outwards, you want to make sure that's actually latched to begin with. And again, when you're swinging, try not to grab it right here in the center, because again, you do risk that factor of potentially unhooking it and potentially crushing your fingers in the process. So that's another thing to note here. As far as the weight of this lightsaber, it does feel good in the hands. It doesn't feel extremely heavy or anything like that. And again, this mechanism here just works like a charm, and I really like that. In fact, I would really love to see this kind of mechanism, especially the build quality of this, and hopefully have an option to use on those Jedi Temple Guard lightsabers from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That would be great. Now, as far as how do you get access to the SD card, typically with their Heroes tier, they have it to where the hilts actually have a micro USB port on them that you can plug in directly to your computer or to charge it. This one is a bit different. This one's not like the other ones. This one does still have that one button activation, which is a little tactile switch right there. And what you'll need to do is that if you do get this lightsaber, is that this actually comes apart right here in the section, which I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now. So this section comes apart like so. And there, put this down here. So there's your board with your SD card. So if you need to pull that out, you can. You want to be a bit cautious because some of these wires are a little bit in the way, as you might have to kind of gently push these down to remove that SD card completely. So if you want to edit some files on the PC, you'll be able to do so. And then of course, this is where you charge it right here. When you get these, there's actually some kill keys on the inside, and you're gonna have to remove that in order for it to turn on. And before we proceed, I'm gonna let my camera cool off here because it's about to overheat, and then we'll begin from there. All right, sorry about that. I had to let the camera cool down as it was about to overheat. Makes sense, as this is technically my 27th time trying to record this review, so that's how often I make mistakes. So anyways, let's see, I went over the basic information warning, and I think I last left off showing you guys how to basically get access to the SD card and how to charge it. So what I want to go ahead and do next is that I want to go ahead and insert some blades in here. I do have two blades here. These are, I believe they're 26-inch blades. So these are the Neopixel Blades from SaberForge. So I'm not using anything different. Everything what I'm using is from what they provided. And I will say that as far as these blades go, they got a nice, well, they have a shiny finish to them. They're like really, I don't know if my camera is going to pick that up or not, but they're really bright and shiny, just so you guys are aware, versus some of the other ones that I have where it's, again, not as shiny looking. It's more of a matte finish, or not as glossy, if you will. And let's go ahead and bring over the key here. Now, for these, by the way, if you need to insert the blade, you'll notice that there's no section on the out part. It's actually in the inner portion, so you need to have these blades actually out first in order to get access to that. Then you can go ahead and just loosen up the screw, and then you can go ahead and remove the blade plug that's in there. Bring over a blade. So I basically woke up from a deep sleep. Like I said, it is on the Empress Palpatine one, or the Darkness font by Kyberphonic. Make sure that is snug. And bring the other side over. And I will go outside. I do want to let you guys know, at least I believe it's still windy. So if you hear wind when I'm outside, that's because it is a bit windy. And because it's cold, I won't be out there for as long as, well, I don't want to get sick. And I'm sure the puppies don't want to be out there in the cold for as long. Now, I will say that messing with the settings, like changing effects and blade color, whatnot, it's a bit weird. It's not like the other sabers that I've used where it's all simplified. There's like certain things that you have to do type thing in order to get things to activate. But before I go out in the cold, I wanted to try to showcase some of the effects and stuff like that on here first, and then I'll go out there and briefly swing it around a bit. So let me go ahead and turn off this light here and close this door. So let's see, and we're going to go ahead and tune down that one right there. for example. And don't worry, I'm going to go outside and swing this because I got no space to swing this. But I just want to kind of let you guys hear it, just in case if it's too windy out there, that there is smooth swing. Watch out. So I'm sure you guys could hear that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold down the buttons. And then, ooh, don't sit right there. And then to activate. As far as how did the speakers sound decent. There are relatively smaller speakers compared to some of the larger ones, just kind of a little bit of an FYI here. And let me go ahead and kind of bring this light back into play. So what I want to do is that I want to go to sound font number 2. Again, sound font number 2 and onward is everything that came with the Saber by default. Font 1 is what I changed to one from Kyberphonic, and that was about it. And then, of course, as you saw there, I went with the unstable blade effect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press down on these, and it's going to go to font number 2. So I'm just going to hold both down at the same time. So 3, 2, 1, press. So that one is called Cyber or something like that. And then again, activate. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and use it as a single blade for a moment, just to kind of demonstrate the trying to cycle and go through the different menus and whatnot. And they also have a tutorial on their website, and you also get a piece of paper with a QR code actually provided that leads you straight to the website as well, but you could find it on there. So we're just going to go ahead and it's weird how to activate certain things. So let's go ahead and activate. So if you press and twist, it does that weird thing, and maybe the lighting, the reflection. So the reflection right here. I think that's the force. And then when you press and press, or just by when you press it will activate blasters depending on the font. And then just the clashing there. Let me muffle this a little bit. So in order to do that, you kind of press down and then press again. It's weird. I don't really like how this is set up, to be honest. And then it will continuously do that until you press the button. And let me go ahead and let me change the font to something hopefully less loud. Oh, this one I think went back. So this is Daddy Issues. There you go, something a little bit more classic, if you will. So in order to go to the first mode is supposed to be like you're supposed to go into the menu. So you press down for 2 seconds, let go, then press down again. Then you hear that sound, and then you're supposed to rotate this like a doorknob. And then again, if you look there, and it's weird too because this thing has so many weird settings on here. So the first set was classic. This next set is called flow. And again, if you look specifically right there where you can see the true color, this is called flow 1. Flow 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we're still in flow. Alright, now the next thing is called frozen. So this is called frozen 1. There appears to be almost like a heartbeat pulse thing, weird thing going on here. Frozen 2, it's more impactful. Frozen 3 just changes the color with the same effect. And then it just keeps going. Frozen 7, same thing. Again, maybe if I hold it closer. See that weird pulsating effect? That's what I was referring to. So it's going to cycle through those colors and it's going to add that effect on each one. This one is, it went to Flame 1. No, my bad, Wave. So it goes to the corresponding color, but it kind of does a little, kind of like, not exactly a pulse, but just like a blade wave effect that kind of goes down. And then this one is a bit weird going on here. There's like, not exactly the chroma color, but we're almost getting there. Let's see. So this is now Flame. And this is Flame 3. So it's kind of like, almost like a live flame, if you will. And then it goes to Gradient. And Gradient kind of has like a mixed color here, so we have like pink on the top here, blue on the bottom. This one is kind of cycling between those two. Gradient 5 is more blue, and then it goes into like a teal color towards the top here. And then it kind of cycles the two in, mixed to each other. And now we're back at Classic. Now, keep in mind that when you're back on here, again, we were just rotating it. The other thing is that if you press the button, you will cycle through the blade effects. So by pressing it, again, we're on Classic right now. So now, as you can see, there's that weird white effect going on here, pressing it. You can also change the sound too. Each one is a bit different. And then, of course, you can kind of get to that unstable effect like I was using for the Darkness Ray. So like that one, for example. Again, there's some weird, wacky things in here, honestly. Not everything is needed. And then you can go ahead and get back to your default, and then you just hold down to select, and then you're good to go. So that's basically how that works. So let me go ahead and turn this off really quick before we go outside. So again, when the saber is activated, you press this little button down for 2 seconds, let go, and press down again. You'll go into like a blade menu. The first set is cycling through what they call the blade colors. For me personally, I think it would be nice if it was just the standard colors without some of those extra weird effects. And then by whatever one that you're on, by pressing the button down each time, you will activate a blade effect, and then you could cycle through all those different effects, excuse me, like I just showcased. And then once you're done selecting what you want for each one, You hold it down again, it'll make a noise, whatever noise it's going to be. Again, different per sound font. And then boom, it's now selected. And that way, each time when you now go on it, it's going to be whatever it is that you had selected on there. So again, that's essentially how that works. So what I want to go ahead and do is that I'm going to, I'm going to go back to font number 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this outside and cycle through some of the different fonts, and then let you guys listen to it, and hopefully it's not too windy. So let's go ahead and step outside and take a quick listen. All right, so I am currently outside. It is breezy, so I apologize. I'm just going to cycle through a few fonts and then go back to the room because it's really cold out here and I can't really swing a saber too well when I'm freezing. So hopefully you guys could hear it. So anyways. So the Son of Darkness one came with it. It's basically a Kylo Ren font. So the shadow, this is more of a Darth Maul. Let me change. Not only was it windy, but it was also chilly out there. So just wanted to kind of give you guys a sample while I was out there, just to demonstrate that it does have smooth swing and some of the fonts that are on there. I do apologize if it was a bit hard to hear. Again, unfortunately, I can't swing this in my room just because, well, if I do, more than likely I'm going to either hit the TV or I'm going to hit something over here, one of those two things. But yeah, as you probably noticed, I didn't go too crazy with the swinging, and the reason for that, again, is because of this middle portion right here. Anytime that I was swinging it out there, I was trying to use caution anywhere that I grabbed on here to ensure that I didn't grab this middle section. There was a couple times that I did, but I had to remind myself not to put too much pressure on here, just because if I do, again, I could risk this coming loose and then crushing my hand. And right now I'm kind of enjoying some of the new video games, so I wish for my hands not to be crushed. But other than that, what do I think of this lightsaber? It's a really nice lightsaber, and I think SaberForge did a really good job. As far as the files that are on here, again, it's a little bit crazy. One thing I didn't mention, really, you have to shake? One of the things that I didn't mention is that when you're cycling through the effects, you could actually, it depends on the orientation of the blade. Like, for example, if it's pointing upwards or upright, then you're basically, really, again, going upright, you'll go in the corresponding order. If it's pointing down and you're rotating it, you'll start to go in the opposite direction. So kind of similar to what Asteria does with theirs, where you point it up or point it down to either go forward or backwards in your selection. So that's very nice. You know, again, there's just a lot of random effects on there that don't really make any sense or even look too nice, and I was trying to figure out how to edit those out to just keep the nicer ones. I couldn't figure out how to do that correctly, and any time that I thought I did, for some reason the board seems to remember all the stuff that I took out, so hopefully I can get that figured out. What is with you? That's the third freaking time you have to shake. I know it's cold. I'm cold too. But like I said, it's just, I wish there was a way to, like, when the saber is like this, I wish I could somehow lock this in place so that way when I am swinging this, I can grab it right here without having to worry about it becoming undone. That's the only thing that's really bothering me about this thing. But again, other than that, it's a really nice saber, and I do have to give props to SaberForge for, again, doing that nice upgrade to the Golden Harvest. It seems like it's a decent board. Again, it's taken a little bit of a longer time for me to kind of learn the ins and outs of this thing. And, you know, down the road, which, by the way, if you guys don't know this, if you happen to have a bunch of flour, really? 4 times? So as I was saying, SaberForge on their website, like if you happen to have a bunch of empty SaberForge hilts, they actually have their plug-and-play kit, and they've upgraded their plug-and-play kit so you can get it if you get the Hero tier with the Golden Harvest soundboard, and you just basically plug it into your Saber. It's a very easy kit. In fact, probably down the road I'll pick one up because SaberForge has a hilt that is themed for the Mandalorian. It actually looks quite nice, but I noticed on their site it's not yet available, but it appears that they're coming out with one that has a paint job with a theme of Boba Fett to it, which I want to get. So eventually down the road, what my plan is, before I get the Mandalorian themed hilt, I want to get the one that's themed towards Boba Fett, and then I want to get that plug-and-play kit, and then have a nice video corresponding not only with the hilt, but also that plug-and-play kit. And if you want the Neopixel option, you do have to get it with the blade, which is like an additional $100 more, give or take. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Again, it's very nice. I wish I didn't have to take this apart to plug it into the computer, but then again, at the same time, I'm thankful that we don't have those annoying buttons sticking out, giving this a much cleaner look. As for the tactile buttons here, you know, they are pretty nice. Again, just trying to navigate through the menu system like I was during that moment real time. It's just, it takes a bit of time to get used to, because the thing is, when you do these button activations to trigger certain things on the board, there's like a certain time or second, and if you're just a second off or so, it doesn't activate into that mode. So again, that just takes a little bit of time to getting used to. Again, it's probably a bit harder on these little tiny tactile buttons, and it's probably a lot easier on a normal Saber with a regular button, but that's just my personal guess. We'll find out down the road. But again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And if it's worth getting, that's honestly up to you guys. Again, it is an expensive lightsaber. If you have the money, potentially go for it. But again, because of that risk factor, it's really hard to give it a yay sort of thing. But if you have the money and you want an empty hilt as a display, there's also that option too. Other than that, I'm trying to figure out for my next lightsaber review, because I don't really have anything to. I have one, maybe 2 other hilts, and then of course we're entering the holiday season, so yeah, I'll have to figure out what to do for some lightsaber videos for my Friday episodes. Some of these episodes I might change to something different. You know, maybe if you guys want a video or like how to customize a CFX board or Profi board or something, or maybe I can do a video of my top 5 or top 10 Saber fonts that I have in my collection, things like that. I could potentially do something like that as well. But again, let me know what you guys think about the SaberForge Dark Rey. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next review, and enjoy your overall weekend. And if you are Black Friday shopping, just make sure you're safe out there and try to social distance as much as possible. But again, I'll leave that to it. Till then, you guys have a great one.